indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you very much, Mr. Boatwright. Thank you, sir. All right. We do have a quorum this morning. We'll call this meeting to order. Commissioner Giesland is sick and will not be with us today. First item is citizens' comments. Ms. Waski?
No, sir.
No, sir. All right. Item 1, consider and take action on minutes from previously held meeting of Commissioners Court on October 29, 2019. Any comments, additions, or deletions to the minutes as presented?
Hearing none, Judge, I move that we approve the minutes as presented for Commissioners Court held on October 29, 2019.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley, seconded by Commissioner Thomas to approve the minutes as presented. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 2, consider and take action to approve a refund of $2,765.36 from the Henderson County Tax Office. Cindy, good morning.
Good morning, Cindy.
This refund is being issued because they went back to 2018 and granted a 100% disabled veterans for this gentleman.
Okay. Questions?
How far can you go back?
Normally, they don't go back more than 2 years. Every once in a while, they'll go back a little further, but usually it's only 2 years.
Any other questions? Just for clarification, we have a limit set, dollar amount on refunds, that limit being what the tax office can refund without permission of the court. What is that number?
$2,500.
$2,500. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Entertain a motion.
So move to approve, Judge.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner McCam to approve the refund in the amount of $2,765.36. All those in favor? Item passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 3, consider and take action on an interlocal agreement between Henderson County and Kaufman County for shared costs for drug testing services with the Texas Department of Public Safety. Sheriff and Mr. County Attorney, if y'all would like to present.
Good morning, Court. This agreement is basically for a chemist to work our drug cases, ours and Kaufman County specific. We did set money aside for the next 2 years or next year in the budget for this program if the court allows us to do so. Basically, right now it's taking about 9 to 10 months to get our analysis back from the crime lab. That's how far they're backed up. And I've got a couple of individuals that we just arrested last week that are still in custody, not able to bond out. And the DA's office has to, if they don't bond out within 90 days, then they have to give them a PR bond. If they don't have them indicted, they can't have them indicted if they don't have the lab analysis back, because the lab analysis will tell you how much weight of narcotics, and that depends on what charge they're going to be charged with. So a lot of people are sitting in jail for 90 days, then receiving a PR bond. Well, it's costing the county to have them sit there is $2,800, a little over $2,800 to sit out that 90 days, and I've got 2 or 3 just from last week. This is going to be a cost savings, and DPS is guaranteeing if we sign this contract that chemists will only focus on Kaufman County and Henderson County, and they're guaranteeing a 30-day turnaround. So hopefully we won't be having the issues anymore going forward. Now, the backlog that we still have will still have to be cleaned up, but we should send the drugs over there for analysis, and we should have our analysis back within the 90-day time frame to get them indicted. It'll speed the whole process up, and it's a win-win for Henderson and Kaufman County. And it'll be saving money in the long run because you're not stretching the case out so long.
The lab is located in Dallas.
Tyler.
It's in Tyler.
Yes, we did want to use, we took our narcotics to the Tyler lab. I believe Kaufman County actually used Garland, but I didn't want to change labs, so Kaufman County's going to transport our chemist will be in Tyler.
I got you.
Questions for the sheriff?
So we'll still be using the same lab,
Yes, sir.
but with this agreement, we'll be able to get results back within 90 days.
Yes, we'll have a chemist that actually works for DPS that only works on Henderson and Kaufman County cases. Now, naturally, if they didn't have any Henderson and Kaufman County cases, they'll probably be analyzing something else for DPS. But the caseload that we give them ourselves, there'll be plenty for them to do.
And state again how much it costs the county to keep
It's a little
90 days,
It's a little over
6 months?
It's a little over for 90 days. Is a little over $2,800 per inmate, and we've got a ton of those in jail just waiting for their
Because we
analysis.
can't get results back.
Right.
And what that's really going to equate to is about 17 cases
Yes.
annually.
Yes.
So that's how quick the turnaround can possibly be. Not only that, many times these individuals that are in this situation and are what you would call habitual offenders, they can be out committing more crimes.
That's usually what happens. I mean, they get a PR bond, and then we end up getting them on another case, and they sit another 90 days, and then they get right back out. So
Right.
hopefully, if they can sit there.
The other thing that I'd add to that is on your attorney side is the appellate courts have held on numerous occasions that it's per se malpractice for a defense attorney to plead a client to a drug charge, a felony drug charge without a drug test. So often you get from the attorney standpoints, particularly we know that a lot of these offenders may have other charges. They may be able to resolve those other charges, yet they're sitting out there waiting on plea deals because we don't have a drug test back because we're waiting 9-10 months. And that would move these cases through the courts because they cannot plead them out until they have those test results back.
Sheriff, what's the difference between what we're doing now and then going into this if we're using the same lab? Because of the chemist is going to be?
They are actually hiring a chemist specifically for Henderson and Kaufman County. So they'll put another chemist on the payroll, but they did guarantee us that once we entered into this agreement, and Kaufman County has already agreed, and actually I believe it's in the process. They're just waiting on us to see if we're going to split the cost with them, basically. But they're not going to make us wait before they hire a chemist. We're going to get a chemist that's already hired by DPS, and then they will fill their other opening at a later date.
There was a master agreement. DPS did not want to enter, because you may look at this and say this is an interlocal between Henderson County and Kaufman County. DPS did not want to enter into a contract with both counties. And neither one of us were big enough to outright pay for our own chemist. We could have done that. We just don't submit enough. Again, both of us going together, there will be enough to keep a chemist busy full time. So all we're really, in essence, doing is paying for a state position to get our results back faster. So Kaufman County was actually the county that signed the contract with DPS. So they have a separate contract that they have already approved. This interlocal is on Kaufman County's docket, Commissioner's Court for today also. And so, yeah, they're waiting on us. So we're just entering into this with Kaufman County to share those services.
Well, this is going to be an annual cost of just a little bit under $45,000 to the county.
Yes, sir.
And like I said, at $2,800, we're looking at 17 cases of that instance where we're spending $2,800.
And so what that tells you is a chemist for the state of Texas costs about $90,000 a year by the time you get their salary and all their fringe and benefits in there. And us and Kaufman are going in and we're splitting the cost of that at about $45,000.
And I just had, and we had just 3 cases from last week that are still, I mean, so it's gonna be a wash.
Yeah. Any other questions, comments?
And we budgeted money for 2020.
We did. The sheriff and the district attorney and the county attorney have been discussing this for the better part of 6-8 months, I believe.
Yes, sir. And if the court does decide to enter into the agreement, the district attorney's office and myself have agreed to go ahead and, because there's no money in this year's budget, we will fund this year out of our seizure funds to get us over into next year. And then next year and the years after will hopefully just be on the budget.
Okay. Further comments, questions? If not, gentlemen, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Entertain a motion to approve the interlocal agreement with Kaufman County
So moved.
I'll second the motion
and with the judge's authorization.
with the judge's authorization to sign.
Motion made by Commissioner Tootley, seconded by Commissioner McCam, to approve the interlocal agreement between Henderson County. Somebody's phone, please. Oh. It's okay, Rich. Motion made by Commissioner Tootley, seconded by Commissioner McCam, to approve the interlocal agreement between Henderson and Kaufman County for the shared costs of drug testing services with the Texas Department of Public Safety, with the judge's authorization to sign. All those in favor? Item passes. Thank you, gentlemen, very much. Item 4, we are going to skip over. There's been some issues come up that we need to continue to flesh out. Spoke with the county clerk previously, and we're just going to pass on this item. And in about 10 seconds, we are scheduled to open into a public hearing. And if you will bear with me. It is 9:15. And we will need a motion to move into public hearing to discuss the determination of a speed limit on County Road 4608 located in Precinct 4. Can we have that motion?
I move we move into a public hearing or setting the speed limit on.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Thomas to move into public hearing. All those in favor? Passes. We are now in public hearing. This is an opportunity for you, the public, to speak in regards to this item of setting a speed limit on 4608. You will have 3 minutes. If you would, please come forward, give your name and address for the record so that we may have you. Now, is there anyone that wishes to speak for or against this? Please, sir, come forward. If you would, please come to the podium so everyone can hear you.
My name's Larry Gates, and I live on 4608. We have a 900-yard-long road, and people want to do 50 and 60 mile an hour down. I have to holler at them every time I'm out there to slow down, and then, of course, someday it's going to come to problems. And I mean, I just don't understand why they want to go that fast. It's a dead-end road. It just goes 900 yards. So I asked him this speed limit, and I'm asking y'all for it. Mm-hmm. And that's all I got, I guess.
Okay. If you would you give your complete address for the record?
It's 5858 County Road 4608, Athens, Texas, 75752.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate that.
Been a while since I've seen you.
Yes, sir. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak? Make one last call. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak in this matter? Seeing no one, it is 9:17. Can I have a motion to close public hearing?
I'll move that we close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Thomas to close public hearing. All those in favor? Passes. Item number 6, consider and take action to set speed limit of 30 miles an hour on County Road 4608 located in Precinct 4. I spoke with Commissioner Giesland this morning, and he was very comfortable with us moving forward on this. He said that if anyone had spoken in opposition, he would have wanted us to wait until he had been a part of the proceedings. But given that we only had one speaking in favor, I believe that he would appreciate us going ahead and moving forward and setting this speed limit. So, any comments?
I move we set the speed limit at 30 miles an hour on County Road 4608, Precinct 4.
And I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Thomas to set a speed limit of 30 miles an hour on County Road 4608 located in Precinct 4. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 7, consider and take action on interlocal contract between the Department of Information Resources and Henderson County relating to the use of the DIR Shared Services Master Service Agreements for election security assessment. With us today, we have Mr. Gene Moore. If you would, sir, please come up. The state has been pushing very hard on election services, and with all of the concerns of the last several years of cyber issues and so forth, and they have worked with the federal government to begin to get everybody on the same page. So, Mr. Moore, if you would introduce yourself and then tell us about it.
Thank you, Judge. My name is Gene Moore. I'm with AT&T. We are the provider of the assessments themselves. We were selected through an RFP process that came down. Eventually, this program got kicked off through a Help America Vote Act, a HAVA grant money that was provided to the state. And the state of Texas chooses to move in the direction of having a ubiquitous assessment for all the counties in the state of Texas. And so we are the provider of those assessments, which is how AT&T is in. So this particular program, I don't know how much you all know about it, and I certainly don't want to waste your time. I can give you a high-level summary, and then we can talk through it and have Q&A if that would be beneficial, or if you're pretty well aware of it, then we can kind of skip that and move to what we're doing today.
Please give us the high-level assessment.
Okay, thank you. As I said, this particular assessment was provided through a HAVA funding grant that was received by the state of Texas in March of 2018. What the state decided to do was, rather than provide funds out to the individual counties and leave the onus on the counties to figure out what is the best way to go and try to find the resources and try to shore up their enhancing of their cybersecurity around their elections. And it's not just the technology, but it also involves the processes and controls and everything within elections themselves. And so what the state decided to do was come up with a program that is available to all 254 counties across the state of Texas. When it originally kicked off, the program was a voluntary program for approximately the first year. This past year, because of the increased awareness and the increased need for these assessments, state of Texas passed House Bill 1421, which made this particular assessment mandatory. So that took effect September 1st. And so what we're trying to do here today is to try to help educate the court, answer questions, things like that, in order to move forward with signing the interlocal agreement between the county and the DIR. It's not between the county and AT&T. All we are is just kind of the provider of the program itself. The actual program will consist of an on-site visit. So we will send a team of a couple of folks out here for a day or two to sit down with your elections personnel, walk through, as I said, their processes, their controls. We'll take a look at your physical security, as well as work with the IT group in a collaborative effort to go in and do some scanning. We'll do some things like looking for malicious software, etc. We will provide a statement of work, which is actually one of the steps in the approval process that comes shortly after, if we approve this today, that we provide you an actual statement of work that will outline everything that we're doing. So IT department and the county will have that as well. So you'll be able to review that and approve it, and that way you'll be aware of expectations before we get here. So once the on-site visit is completed, we will take approximately 6 weeks after that to go and assimilate the data. We'll also do some things off-site, and some examples of those would be like a phishing campaign on the county. We will do some dark web scanning. We'll go out there and we'll look at the internet bazaars and the dark web to look at information that's being bought and sold on the internet, and we'll provide all this into a report, provide it back to the county, and in that report you'll receive an overall score, because we use a same standardized framework that has a 1 to 5 scale on it, and so you'll receive a score. You'll also receive an individual itemized list of what we found, along with recommendations for that moving forward. And this information that is in this report is all protected by Texas Government Code 552-139, which makes it confidential and private. So this information will go back to the county and to the county alone. So I would encourage you that once this report is provided to you, and then we have a wrap-up call where it's shared and we speak through the report, so we don't just give it to you and let you interpret it, I would keep that group of people down to a kind of a need to know, right? You want to keep this information tight if you can. And so what it also does in this report is that it's structured in such a way where after the report is provided to the county, we then strip off all the county information from that, and we provide the report data to the state. And we provide it in a pool with all the other counties that we're doing. We're currently, we've completed 52, 53 as of I think yesterday or day before. And we have approximately 230 counties signed up already, so we have a whole lot to do in the first quarter. And we're working feverishly to try to have all the counties completed by the end of second quarter. That way it gives enough time for remediation, because at the end of the day, it's not about having the report, it's about doing something about it. Now, in terms of doing something about it from a financial standpoint, the assessment itself is 100% paid for to the county. It will not cost you anything. Billing will not even go through the county. So it will go directly to the state, and then the state pays the bill. The remediation funds, there's approximately $13 to $14 million left over for remediations to go and fix what we found. We've already identified some trends, so we have a pretty good idea of some of the main things that we're probably going to see. But the state has not made a determination yet on dispersing those funds, how they're going to disperse it, et cetera. What I will say is that they are trying to get the biggest bang for their dollar. So it may be some type of a split arrangement, 50-50 or 80-20 or whatever it is they come up with. Again, that's not up to me. That's driven by Chief Ingram at the state's office. But we do work with them hand in hand very closely, trying to do that. So as soon as we find out more information out about that, then part of our role is also to provide that information to the county. But I'm sure the state will also be reaching out directly to provide that information. Most likely probably come through Denise, is what I'm guessing. So, but the main things that the counties generally, because I work with all the counties across the state, the general things that they're most concerned with is that how much is it going to cost the county? It's free. Is it open to open records request? No, it's not. So the assessment itself, when we come out for a couple days, will be very collaborative, but it won't be real intrusive. And so in other words, if we're out here for 2 days, it's not going to be like a lockdown audit for 2 days. It's going to be sit down, kind of going to different people within elections and having them walk through the processes and, for instance, set up, tear down machines, things like that. So it's very user-friendly from the standpoint of just do your normal jobs, and we'll go in and assess that process. So.
Questions?
Josh Brock, our IT director, what are your thoughts on all this?
I mean, we've talked about it at length. I have affirmation to do it because, I mean, we should assess our, it's kind of like a backup. You don't know how good your backup is until you have to use it.
Right.
In this instance, malware, spyware, all that type of security, how do we know how good it is until we actually get a true test against it? And so I'm fine with it because if we have any deficiency, I'd like to know before we have something happen like Gregg County or some of the other counties that have had
Yes.
major malfunctions and they thought everything was protected up to that point. So hopefully, hopefully we score well. I mean, his expectation is, that we're going to land somewhere the same as the other counties. I'm hoping that we do better, but we'll see. See how it plays out.
Thank you, Josh.
And one thing I will say, in terms from a scoring standpoint, expect a low score. As much as I would love to say that you're going to score high, you're not. It's just average counties right now, it's 1 to 5 scale. Small to medium counties are scoring on average a little less than a 1. Large to medium county or large to extra large counties are scoring a little over 1. So do not get alarmed with the score. That's not what it's about. It's about developing a baseline, identifying, figuring out what's wrong, and moving forward. So, for instance, for IT, it will save them a tremendous amount of time because this is a lot of information that you can otherwise not get unless you had a lot of money and had a lot of high-end resources. So.
Well, I had 3 questions and you've answered 2 of them. But you said that you've gone through 52 counties and you have 230 on board. So is everybody trying to get to the presidential election to make sure that they're good?
This is tied to a federal grant, the HAVA grant, so it is tied to the federal election, yes, sir.
Okay.
So that is the focus, is to try to get as many of the counties as we can get done by the end of the second quarter to allow us a full quarter of being able to help remediate. And we'll start that remediation process. We won't start it for all the counties. In other words, we don't have to finish it to start with all the counties. We're going to be doing it in parallel. So hopefully we can have all the assessments done and be able to finish up the remediation by the end of the third quarter. With a little bit of luck. So the state should be coming out with some type of determination on what they're going to do with those funds. I would think within the next 60 days or so. That's just a guess.
And all states are going through this, with it being a federal grant?
Every state received funds, but every state is different. Texas is the only one that decided to do a uniform assessment process. What most states did is because when they received the funds, it was tied to the enhancement of security, and they really didn't have policies or procedures in place. And so they weren't sure what to do with it. So they passed the onus on the counties and said, here's the money, go come up with a program to make yourself tightened up on security. And what the state of Texas did, which I applaud them for, is they didn't. They turned around and came back and said, no, we're going to put together a program for the entire state to take the onus off the counties, provide a uniform set of measurements and tools to be able to look at. So there is no difference in the way that the interpretation, the measurements, et cetera, are done for Henderson versus, I got to go to Loving County next week, which is, population 134 people, I think. So they're all being judged the exact same, Harris, Dallas, Henderson, whoever. And so it gives the state the ability to interpret the issues regardless of the geography, which is great. So I applaud them for doing that and taking a very active role. But this is a first step. This is not an end game by any stretch of the imagination. These nation states, these nefarious folks, or these bad actors are getting smarter and smarter and smarter. So this is just a tip of the iceberg. So it's going to be something that the counties will have to make room in their budgets for funding moving forward, not assessment funding, so to speak, but just cybersecurity enhancement funding, ongoing. It's not going away anytime. Probably I'll retire before it goes away. So it's something that it's really a culture change that we're trying to move within the state. It'll take some time, but I think the state's doing the right thing.
Commissioner?
I think most of mine have been answered by the previous questions, but I would like to agree with our IT director that I feel that backup is important, especially in cybersecurity. And this is no cost to the county,
Yes, sir, that's correct.
and there is money available if we do have a problem.
Yes, sir. It's I don't know the exact figure, but it's around 13 to 14 million for the remediation.
Anything else? Yeah, just to kind of recap, you're with AT&T.
Yes, sir.
And AT&T was selected by the state.
It was selected by the Department of Information Resources, which is basically the IT arm of the state.
Of the state. So it was a procurement process that brought this forth and bring everything together. That's why you were here instead of someone from the Secretary of State's office.
Correct.
This is a requirement of House Bill 1421, and that all counties be a part of this assessment by December 31st of this year.
Yes, the onboarding has been pushed to have all the counties participate by the end of the year. The actual assessment won't be done till
Correct.
Next year.
Correct. The other part of it that has already passed was the actual training aspect of it that
Yes.
has already been completed by the majority of, I'm assuming the majority, I know our elections department has already completed. Can you
Yes,
speak to that a little
and
bit?
that was a DIR program. That is not part of this program.
Okay.
But I know exactly what you're talking about, and it had to be mandated to be completed by September 30 in order to access team.
Right. Well, as you said, it's the world we live in today. And part of the reason for the non-application of the freedom of information is that you don't want that information given to the individuals that would exploit the system. Is that correct?
Yes.
When individuals begin hearing, well, this is exempt, and we're stripping this out and redacting that, they become suspicious.
Yes.
And that is the reason why the information is being restricted, is because we don't want to give an assessment to the individuals that would exploit it.
In some ways, it could be considered a blueprint, and you don't want to give a blueprint if you're trying to stay safe, right? And plus also there's agendas and things like that other people have. But at the end of the day, it is the county's information, and you can do with it what you choose.
Okay.
We can't tell you share this with this or not share this with this. I'm just letting you know that it is protected if you decide this is what you want to do. But my personal opinion is I would keep that very tight.
Any other questions or comments?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Moore, for making the drive. I know you said it was a short drive from McKinney, considering you have to cover all 254 counties. We thank you for coming down here.
I love driving in East Texas versus, don't tell West Texas, but East Texas, but I've been ready. So, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, at this time, we'll entertain a motion on the contract between the Department of Information Resources in Henderson County relating to use of the DIR Shared Services Master Service Agreement for Election Security Assessment.
No cost to us.
At no cost to us.
So moved.
I'll second. That's for you to sign, Judge?
Yes.
Authorization to sign.
Judge's
Yes.
authorization to sign.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley, second by Commissioner Thomas, to approve the interlocal agreement with the judge's authorization to sign. All those in favor? Item passes. Thank you, sir. Item 8, consider and take action to approve the transfer of a desk and 2 file cabinets to the district attorney's office, and also a table and 2 chairs to the treasurer's office from surplus. Ms.
Good
Sinclair.
morning.
Good morning.
Yes, we did have a need for a small conference table and some chairs in the treasurer's office, and it actually fit perfect, so we are gonna go ahead and transfer that. And then the DA's office did need a little bit more furniture to meet their needs.
Questions? Entertain a motion.
So move to approve, Judge.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner McCam to approve the transfer of surplus property. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 9, consider and take action on official ballot of the Henderson County Appraisal District Board of Directors for Place 1. Gentlemen, last week before last, we made our nomination of Mr. Maurice Cox, who is in audience with us here today. And as a part of the process, all entities will have to vote. And that is what we have to do here today. And you see the ballot in your backup that will be submitted after this court and after attested to by our clerk as to what our vote was. So at this time, we're going to need to take a vote on the nominee, which is Mr. Maurice Cox, for his candidacy and his position at Place 1 of the Henderson County Appraisal District Board of Directors. So all of those in favor of Mr. Cox being that, led to that position. I vote for him. Okay, let the record show there were 4 votes for Mr. Cox. And we will sign this and move forward. Oh, great, I just lost my agenda. Excuse me.
So now you're first.
Yeah, I'm having all sorts of, that guy needs to come back and work on my computer. So, we're going to go ahead and move forward. That was the action that needed to be taken. And we will get that signed and sent. Item 10, consider and take action on special road use agreement and permit with RPMx Construction LLC on County Road 2854 and County Road 2855 located in Precinct 2. Commissioner Tooley.
Yes, Judge. RPMx came by and they are going to be hauling sand to the new Eustis ISD High School on 2854 and 2855 for maybe a couple of weeks. And so they've came by and asked to have a road use permit approved by us.
Questions for Commissioner Tooley? In this particular instance, they are using the insurance route instead of a
Yes.
bond?
Mhm.
Okay.
Hearing none, Judge, I move to accept a special road use agreement and permit with RPMx Construction LLC on County Road 2854 and County Road 2855, located in Precinct 2, with the judge's and the commissioner's authorization to sign.
I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley, seconded by Commissioner Thomas to approve the special road use agreement and permit with RPMx Construction LLC with the judges and commissioners' authorization to sign. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 11, receive financial reports. We have in the backup here, we have the reports for JPs 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are the summation reports, and they will be available for viewing after court in the county clerk's office. Item 12, consider and take action on payroll distributions and accounts cash sheets. Ms. Harris.
We do have payroll totals for biweekly 22.
Questions or comments? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley, second by Commissioner McCam to approve the payroll distributions. All those in favor? Item passes.
And we have no account sheets this week.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Item 13, consider and take action on submitted contracts. No contracts? Item 14, consider and take action on requests of right-of-way permits. Item 15, consider and take action on submitted budget amendments.
No budget amendments.
No budget amendments. And our favorite, 16, consider and take action on payment of bills.
I have 2 sets of those.
2.
Oh, I thought you said 2 bills.
2 bills.
Yeah. 2 sets. The total for 2019 this week is $314,756.36.
Commissioner Thomas, questions?
She answered my questions right before court, Judge.
Commissioner Tooley?
I have none.
Commissioner McCann?
I have no question.
Entertain a motion to approve the FY19 bills.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner McCann, second by Commissioner Thomas, to approve the FY19 bills in the amount of $314,756.36. All those in favor? Item passes.
Okay, I have a set for 2020 in the amount of $245,396.
Commissioner McCann?
No question.
Commissioner Tooley? Commissioner Thomas?
No questions.
These 2020 bills are insurances and things like that.
First quarter bills and
First-
insurance.
All right. Entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion, Judge, to approve those bills for 2020.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner Tooley, to approve the 2020 bills in the amount of $245,396. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 17, consider and take action on submitted plats. No plats. Item 18, consider and take action, 18 is open and consider bids.
I have 2 different bid-related items. The first one is the FY 2020 culvert bid. Previously, this has been the HDP bid, but since we're doing steel and doing 2 different types of poly culverts, we decided that culverts would be a better name for it. I did add the type of culvert that Commissioner Giesland had requested, the polypropylene. And then, of course, we have the previous 2 that we had before bills.
And you were asking for our approval of the
The
specs?
specification, yes, please.
Questions, comments from the court? Entertain a motion to approve the specifications for the 2020 culvert bid.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, seconded by Commissioner Thomas to approve the specifications for the 2020 culvert bid. All those in
I have
favor?
a question. Can I ask a question right quick?
Yes.
On these, are these the people that's going to be bidding?
Yes, so those are the people who will receive a direct invitation to bid. Now, it'll be up to them whether or not they actually want to send one, but those companies will receive a direct notification.
Okay, that's what I want to know. I'm good, Judge.
All those in favor of the motion? Item passes.
Okay, the second one is need award from the court for food services at the Justice Center. We received 2 bids. One was Trinity Services and the other was 5 Star. 5 Star is our current vendor. They have been for quite some time, and I'll let Sheriff go from here.
Sheriff?
Thank y'all. Yes, 5 Star, they've had our bid for several years now, and we looked at both bids, and we believe that the best thing to do is to stay with 5 Star at the option 3. There will be a slight increase to the county, but they were still well under Trinity Services, and they have done the county right in the previous years, and I did have some questions and concerns with their bid, but they have been clarified, and so we feel comfortable going ahead and staying with them before we approve that.
Okay. Questions for the sheriff?
Option 3.
Yes, sir. Where the meals will go from, right now are $1.08
Right.
up to $1.09.
I see that.
Okay.
And the option 3 is basically, they will be serving no more milk in the kitchen. There'll be a milk supplement.
As a cost-reducing method?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And actually too, the other counties that are doing it, we basically tested it here too. The inmates really like it better. It's like strawberry and chocolate flavored stuff. Versus regular milk. But it is cheaper.
What is the term of this particular bid? Is it a 1 year or?
This is actually, it'd be a 3-year bid with 2 extensions.
Okay.
Have we extended this one before?
Yes.
That's what I thought we did.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We've been with 5-star pushing 9-10 years now. This is
Yeah.
probably their,
Any other questions? I do want to say, Sheriff, once again, thank you. And every year, or every time when this comes up, this is not something that the sheriff has to bring before the court. It's something that within law he could do himself. And I want to thank him for continuing that, of bringing us into discussion and everyone else to get the best deal for the county. We do appreciate that very much. Anything else, Ms. Nicholson?
No, sir.
All right, so what the request is, the approving of 5-star services, awarding them the, what's the exact name of it? The food services contract?
yes, sir.
Okay. Entertain a motion if there's no questions.
I'll make that motion, Judge.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner Tooley to award the food services contract to 5-star services, is that what they call them? Yeah, 5-star services. All those in favor? Item passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everything signed up? Item 19, consider and take action to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made by Motion made by Commissioner Tooley, second by Commissioner McCam to adjourn. All those in favor? Item passes. I'm ready to get. I do want to tell everyone there is a ribbon cutting for out at the fairgrounds. I believe it's at 11 o'clock today after all the work that was done on the entry, where they put in the nice brick entrance and all of that. It will be taking place at 11 o'clock today if you want to come out and see it. Thank you very much.